Not gonna fight much. I got him. Did you see him come off that stick? He just kind of, yeah. A little butt bass. That was like an aquarium. It was so clear. I was like, ooh, get ready. Okay, see you. About a 3-pounder, or 2 3/4, or. Oh, look here, look. There he is, I got him. Oh. Did you get him coming out of the bush? See if I can figure out how to get him in with a face full of hooks. That was pretty cool the way he run out from the back side of that bush and hit that bait. You know, this is one really neat way to catch fish, especially when the water's clear around the time of the spawn. And there's just something about a prop bait that these old bass can't stand. You know, that's a male. You can see his tail's kind of tore up. And you can see, if you stand up, you can see the bed right there behind the bush. And I seen that fish come all the way out of the bush and get that topwater bait. And we'll see if we can get him, see if he'll swim back. See if he'll swim back. See, he's gonna swim right back over. See him going right back to the bed. And that's where his bed is. But I saw the whole thing. See him, he's gonna go right back over to the bed, right there where he came from. And that's really the cool thing about this prop bait, is it's just deadly on these. I can see him, he's sitting back up on his bed over there. It's just deadly on these spawning bass. They don't like it at all. And you can fish this thing so slow, and actually the slower you fish it, the better off you are. Now, I have a tendency sometimes to fish it a little too fast, but a lot of times that bass will be way back up in there, you know, maybe in behind the bush, and there's a bass right there. See him? There's a bass to the left of my bait. He's looking at my bait, watch. Here he comes, here he comes, he's coming. He's coming, he's stopped. There's 2 bass. See, there's 2 bass right now. There's 2 bass, and nobody seems to be interested. But see, that's really cool. There's 2 bass, and that prop bait drew them out. It drew them out of those bushes to come investigate it. Now, somewhere right in there, there's a bed. What are you doing to me? Ooh. You got it! I got it! I lost it! Okay, put my talon down. That was my people right there. Go out. Oh, wow. throw over here at him. He's killing me. Come on. Come on, dude. I got him that time. It took 3 times, but we got him. He must have had some fry or something around the way he was acting. Well, it took 3 tries, but we finally got him. You see how I changed over. That fish there, he kept really reacting to it every time I'd throw in the bed. I'm assuming he had a bed there. Really get aggressive. He kind of acted like either he had a bed or he had some fry around there. But not a bad fish, but that fish actually bit at it 3 times. But that's one thing, a lot of times this time of year when those fish are just swiping at it, that's one nice thing about this X-Rap prop bait is you've got 3 sets of treble hooks, and a lot of times when they slash at it, you'll hook them. So that one there worked perfect. It just took a couple tries. So we'll move on down through here and see what else we can find. Actually, I probably ought to sharpen my hooks a little bit from where I've caught so many fish on this one that you can see this one here. It's really been in a lot of battles. It's got a lot of hook wear, and you can see a lot of the teeth marks on the back of it. And, you know, it's caught its fair share of fish, and actually the hooks are kind of getting a little more bent up, probably from where I've been taking them off. I need to sharpen my hooks just a little bit. But this is an X-Rap prop bait, and Rapala come out with this bait a couple years ago, and I know Bernie Schultz was real heavy in the design of this bait, and this is really what we've been using as kind of a #1, a locating type bait. And what is really good about it, especially now when these fish are on beds and the water's real clean, it's real good for it really aggravates these fish because you can fish it really slow, you can stop it, you can fish it fast, and it really aggravates these fish this time of year. And I've been throwing this bait back on these little flats, around bushes, and just whatever's in the water, and I'm throwing this on 20-pound test mono. And I kind of like to throw a little mono with this, something that'll float, and something that I can kind of have a little bigger line, something to kind of haul them out of some of these bushes and stuff. But basically that's been my setup, and been throwing it on a 6'10" Lew's spinnerbait rod, and any rod's fine. This is a medium heavy. As you can see, it's got a little tip. I've got a 6'4" BB1 Pro. I've got it spooled up with 20-pound Suffix Pro Mix line, and Suffix is a pretty limp line. It's a good casting line, and basically whenever you throw these prop baits, you know, you can throw them on braided line or mono, either one, but you want a line that'll float and keep that bait up. And you know, as you can see, I've been fishing it a couple different ways. Now today we've got a lot higher skies, and we've actually done better, gotten more strikes, actually speeding it up. And I think that's because the fish can get a little better look at it today. Now, yesterday when I was out here, we had a front come through, we had a little more clouds, and I actually did better by throwing it up next to cover, pulling it and letting it set. And I know, you know, I've kind of got several different colors here. I've kind of got this gold and green, kind of got a perch or a bluegill brim color, and I've got a shad color. And of course, when I'm fishing back in these pockets around the spawn, I like to throw something with a little green or gold or a perch color, something that kind of represents a bluegill or a brim. And then more on up into the summer and the fall, that's when I like more of the shad patterns. But basically, I've kind of been fishing this thing, you know, pretty fast today, but yesterday I was actually able to actually throw it up around cover and let it set, and the fish were a little more aggressive, and they kind of traveled a little farther to come get it. But basically what I always tell people, or the way I was taught to fish this bait, is that a lot of times the slower you fish it, the better you'll do. And a lot of times when you're fishing around the spawn, we've got fish right now that are spawning in 6 inches of water, and we've got fish that are out spawning in 3 or 4 feet of water. So you kind of have to make sure you know, this water's pretty clean, and we've been trying to stay away from them and throw all the way to the bank. But basically what I like to do is I like to throw the bait out a lot of times usually and just let it set and let all the ripples die down until the water smooths out, and then I'll just kind of give it quick little twitches. And sometimes I'll kind of give it 1 or 2, and then I just may let it set and let all those ripples die down. But now today, with this water being clear, we've actually kind of fished it a little bit faster and a little bit shorter spurts. But that's one thing about a prop bait. It's a great way to catch fish. I mean, some of my best first memories of fishing with my dad when I was a kid in April and May here on the lake when the fish were spawning were on prop baits. And this is a really good way to catch some really big bass, and it'll draw a lot of fish out of cover because there's just something about that bait making that little splurp sound when it just if you throw it near a bed and it just pulls and it sits there, that fish can't stand it, and he wants it to get out of there because he's guarding that area. He's very territorial, and that's one thing about this bait. Sometimes the slower you fish it, the better you'll do.
Check us out at wired2fish.com.